Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong and welcome to the back office. You can see it's messy. Sorry guys, I haven't made more of an effort, but I've got these ongoing projects that are just never ending and I'm waiting on parts of things. It's just bloody tedious. Now, something I had recently playing with this battery doodad, and I've never really used it, ironically. I've sort of kept it charged but never actually found the need to use it. But the one time I did want to use it, look, you can see maybe just about actually. I don't. Let's hold this up. It's actually not really making good contact. It's definitely being very temperamental, and you might just about see the light coming on that. If I twist it, push it, prod it, so it's knackered. So without even being used, clearly it's got a loose PCB in there. Now I thought I'd try to open it, but I can't. I really can't. This bottom bit twists for a bit and then binds up, so as if it's trying to crank a battery around. And if I look in the end while I'm doing it, there is an ever so slight deflection on that internal PCB there. See the USB port slightly turning? Yeah? So that's hitting the whole PCB. So I don't know how to get into it, so I'm just going to go for it. I can't get any worse. It just doesn't work right now, so I've got really nothing to lose. End plate, let's see that. End plate doesn't kind of really help us right now, but I'm willing to keep going. Now, anyone out there with a GH3 or GH4 camera, can you let me know how to set the aperture in video recording mode? I kind of feel you'll get a lot at home. You'll get a lot more benefit if I can actually set the aperture down, because we will be narrowing the depth of field and thus focusing will be easier. I do not believe that's the way you do this. Time for brute force and ignorance, I think. That's weird. Look, so that whole circuit board's come out. Now it's kind of stuck because it doesn't want to come over the edge. It definitely seems assembled like it's been pushed in from that end. But that is nice. That's sort of the PCB there, and a battery tang, and another battery tang which seems to be kind of knackered, but that's probably because it was maybe grounded to the case. I think the battery's disconnected. Look at that. What a weird design. Good, finally. So no wonder the battery didn't want to come out. That's threaded in there. God, that's in really hard. But yeah, look, it's just a tube with a threaded end. Can't see how you could even take this in and out without destroying it. How did they even twist that? It's almost like as if the bit that's adhering the battery to this is something they put in at the end, like a bit of glue. Like they don't want you to get it apart. But if they didn't put the glue in there, you'd have been able to dismantle the bloody thing. So that is some mighty fine glue. Fine, we know there's a battery in that. Nothing we're going to learn there. How about this then? So we have something called a SLM6150IC, an 8025A, so just a sort of voltage regulator for the 5 volts, I guess. But yeah, it's going to have is it a booster? Or yeah, it might have a boost in there, because this is 3.7 volts and it has to get 5, so this is a boosting circuit. Now that's pretty much it really. So we just look at the terminals. I'm guessing that's positive this end. It does have a small plus there. So you could definitely reuse this circuit for charging lithium cells. So that's great. So what does it say on here, by the way? It says 5 volts, 1 amp, 2000 milliamp hours. It does say 2000 on this too. So maybe they're not lying. It was a 2000. So that can be removed. Get rid of that rubbish. Yeah, look, that's nice. That is actually really quite useful. So there's your power supply to whatever you want, and then your charge port. So you imagine you're building your gadget that needs 5 volts into something. Just pull this bit off, and then I guess you could pretty much attach any size battery. You don't have to use a 2000. You could probably just use any old pack you got lying around. Which sort of reminds me, I did have an iPhone lithium cell that I think I actually gave away. I think I threw it in a box with some other bits I sent off out of the back office. But yeah, I'm going to be looking for packs like that in things. You know, the big silver ones, if they're the same chemistry. I don't really know much. I know you have lithium polymer and some other lithium ion. You just got to make sure it kind of can work. But yeah, 3.7 volts. I kind of feel though we're not done here until we get this off. I don't know why I feel so, like I don't want to damage this. I kind of don't want to break it. I don't want to damage this tube, but frankly it's not going back together now. It's knackered, so I'm just going to work on this a bit harder. So I'm just going to put the mold grips on it. Oh, that was it. And everything drops. The slightest twist actually just pulled that off, so that was good. That looks weird though. That must be the glue they use, some sort of white stuff there. While we're here, should we have a quick look at this old battery-o? Volts. So we can measure it off the tang here. Rather awkward. 3.97. So yeah, it's good. It's got to be good. It's never been used. So I might just do a quick jump cut and just hook this all back together and sort of resolder this USB port. See you in a sec. So there you have it. One usable power supply. Basically, I think the problem was it must have been a connection with the actual battery terminal in there, because it seems okay. I've been fidgeting around with this, but it's not cutting out like it was. So it's clearly something to do with the battery spring thingies like that. I just soldered it onto the end of this battery, which is a bit funny because obviously you shouldn't really do that. But the battery's quite warm, and I was like, oh, is it warm now because of the heat from the soldering iron or because it's going to blow up? But it seems okay. So I've got my 5.7 volts now out of here. I know there's no load on it, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty neat. That will allow me to mount this somewhere and sort of power perhaps something like a Raspberry Pi, but maybe maybe that would be neat with a USB male on it, so you could just plug it straight in. But yeah, I'll work something out with that. You can obviously just draw a wire though straight from this. I suspect there's nothing clever going on in these. I think they're just sort of live terminals all the time. That's easy to test. Let's see. There we go. 5.16 volts just sitting there. But I wonder if there is circuitry to sort of turn it on. I don't know how these work. If there's sort of a quiescent sort of current being drawn off them all of the time while they're sort of in a sleep mode, or if they actually do wake up when they detect a load. But that multimeter really shouldn't have acted like much of a load, so how curious. Just looking inside there are some components in there. There's definitely some LEDs and things which clearly light up when you put on the old charger. But you've seen what an LED looks like. So kind of don't be afraid, I guess, to have a look inside these things when they stop working, because there's certainly useful stuff in there. And if you can get out these boards, you're going to be able to do a few bits and bobs with that. That's quite a useful sort of board, and you might get a useful battery if there's nothing actually wrong with the battery when you go and explore it. So yeah, a bit of a weird video today, I know, but I hope that's been of some use to you anyway. It's at least a teardown of a battery bank, and I've got loads of battery banks, so maybe I'll tear down another one in the future and try to figure out what the actual circuitry does. But you know, you can see charge controller and a boost circuit. What more do you need to know really at home? Thanks for watching, boys and girls. Bye bye.